happiness and wisdom in our life, we have already understood without wisdom, we cannot live in peace 24 by 7. And without happiness, there is no life as such. So let us first start with the Mangala Charan that we discussed in a couple of the sessions. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva tvameva sarvam mama devu devu. Our masters have created these verses you can sing, you can mentally contemplate and reflect. Simple meaning is that you are my father, you are my mother, you are my sibling, huh? You are my friend, you are the giver of the knowledge, and you are everything. Who is this? To whom we are referring. So even every day in the morning for a few minutes, you remind it is the existence, it is the absolute truth. It is the pure consciousness. It is the real self. It is the supreme consciousness we are referring as you. No, my parents gave me the birth. Okay, let the parents give you the birth minus five elements, minus the world, minus the space. Now you see that we carry forward so many wrong notions in our life. So many wrong notions in our life. So this is the journey. That is why we say Eastern wisdom is the to study Eastern wisdom, to study yourself. So then who am I? So when you start thinking in that way, then your mind starts removing the layers of the superimposition and ignorance. You give me your any activity where the existence is not, and you will find we carry forward so many wrong notions, false, apparent reality. My parents and I are dependent on their existence. So it means existence is the ultimate cause, consciousness is the ultimate cause. And we keep on fighting. You did this and I did this. Ultimately, we enter into another layer of ignorance. With that awareness, open your eyes. We have been talking about 11 steps combined with the liberate principle. Main thing is discernment and dispassion. You start the journey with the discernment in your life, it leads to dispassion. And when the dispassion reaches to a higher state, you become the higher level of a seeker, or I would say the highest seeker. What happens when you are the highest seeker? We are intermediate seeker, we are a low seeker. Just compare it. Three levels of seeking. Our masters explain it. You are the lowest seeker. You have understood these principles in a session. You forget it in your daily life. You have a problem, and then you say, what happened? You are not able to resolve that problem, even after listening, understanding for so long. One guy recently, yesterday he called me. I have understood that everything that changes is not me. But now I have extreme fear. Why I have a fear? I have a fear of death. Now, do you see the connection? So first I identify with the body, and then I see body is changing. So my mind has twisted the principle because of lot of impurities is there. I have a strong identification with the body, and then I say I will die. Now I have a fear. What to do? Lowest level of a seeker. Medium seeker, you are an intermediate. You are above the lowest seeker. You remember those principles, you juggle around, you contemplate and reflect. Anyhow, you are able to get rid of it. And you calm down. Situation is the same, condition is the same. And when you are the highest level of a seeker, don't you recognize those anxiety moments and fear? Yes, you recognize them. And you see them, they are too far from you. Ah, they are too far. Fear of just thank you. You thank your mind. I'm grateful to the mind. You reminded me. What you reminded me, I'm not the body. So where is the death? No, but I have a pain. Take care of the pain. You fell down, you hurt. Take care of the hurt. At the empirical level, I have to take care. But internal calmness is maintained. Internal calmness is maintained. We awaken to that attributes of the consciousness. They are known as the inner wealth of the mind. There are six inner wealth of the mind. So the highest level of a seeker constantly, constantly moves around. You live your life. Internal, you have a higher level of awareness. You are absorbed into. So what happens? Now you see you have to contemplate and reflect. 11 steps, application part. Applying the principles, satsang or liberate principle. Behind that, the deeper level is discernment, dispassion, six treasures. If you think that I am in peace without discernment and dispassion, you are wrong. It may be because of the attachment. It may be because of seeking the pleasure. It may be because of the imaginary pleasure. That peace, that joy is still dependent on something outside. And that is what happens. Today I will go there and I'll go to the restaurant, I'll be happy. Tomorrow I have an appointment with that guy and he is a wonderful. Do you see that? So 11 steps, liberate principle, satsang. What is satsang? I just broken down that satsangs. What is satsang? Satsang means you study collectively, you listen to it, you contemplate and reflect, you practice it, and then you bring about a change in your attitude and a behavior. Lowest level of a seeker. My ego is very strong. Even at the home, honey says you something and you get upset because of my ego, the lower level. So you can compare in many ways. You can contemplate and reflect, because of the ego, I cannot say sorry. I cannot move into the humility. What happened to me? What a crazy guy I am. So when you apply the discernment, you think in that. You move to the medium level of a seeker. So second level of a seeker, at least you remember these principles and you know how to solve it. And at last, you solve it. So when you are into the second level of a seeker, you recognize how the past impressions, how the attachment, how the clinging is still working deep inside me. Oh, I have to study a little more. I have to study a little. I have to reflect on more. I forgot it. So you see the wisdom circle, liberate principle, applying discernment and dispassion. You are harvesting the wisdom in your daily life. What is the meaning of harvesting the wisdom in your daily life? You are happy in the morning, also happy in the afternoon, in the evening, in the night, yesterday, tomorrow, day after. How it has come that real self started manifesting into your daily life. Think. I'm not saying, I'm not imposing any principles or any, it is nothing. There is no cult, dogma, belief. I have been telling you again and again, Eastern wisdom is 200% logical, logical and reasoning. Okay. Do you believe in God? From my mind, answer comes, you are crazy. But I don't answer in that way. Teachers are very tricky, you know. They say, okay, do you believe in God? Yes, I believe. So I also believe. You don't believe in God? No, I know. I also don't believe. What is hidden behind it? Pay attention. That's a very important principle I'm talking about. You go and start the gossiping. There is a God, there is existence. After all, there is something. For the reasoning, for applying the reasoning, for applying the logic, you should have some principle beforehand on which you apply. Where is the principle? I have been telling you, repeat it again. Sum of angles of a triangle is 180 degree. There I have to apply the reasoning. So when you sit down and start the gossiping, oh, there is a God and there is no God. I went there. That is not the journey of a seeker. So in Eastern wisdom, we say, here is a statement. Here is a principle. Now, you apply the reasoning on that principle to prove it. Prove it either way. It is not, it is not, or it is. There is a real self and there is no real self. Where is the problem? At last, at last, you go to the math teacher and you say, my answer of three angles of a triangle is coming out 190 degree or 200. So the master is an authority. Eastern wisdom knowledge is an authority who says, no, you're wrong. You have a fear of death, you're wrong. As such, there is no fear. Prove it. In every statement, you prove it. First, you prove it, your intellect should be free from the doubt, and then the mind starts changing. That is why, again, I'm saying 11 principles. The 11th principle is 6 treasures. We are going there. And how to apply those principles? By applying the liberate. And what happens? Liberate principle, behind that liberate principle is basically the 3 factors. I'm moving towards by practicing discernment. It leads to different levels and stages of dispassion. And once we reach to a state of dispassion, we see, we experience, we validate the 6 inner wealth of six inner wealth of the mind. We validate. It's not an imagination. You live with the six treasures in your life day by day. What happens then? Then you become the highest level of a seeker. And then we can pick up the 12th step, 13th step, and the 14th and the three more principles to check, to validate I am the highest level of a seeker. And from the 15th step, the real, oh, can I say the real journey of the Eastern wisdom started? We directly talk about what is real self. That is how he, this master, has explained the 40 steps. And I have told you before also, you can write those 40 steps on A4 size paper, front and the back, all 40 steps. Perhaps it is a summary of more than 3,000 texts. Can you imagine how he has written? What kind of a level of awareness he had? Again, I'm saying, master says, my master used to say, I said, no, I'm your student. No, I don't make students, I make masters. You have to come with that understanding. He always used to say, no, no, I make masters. I don't make students. And you can very well imagine that, I had a tremendous influence on my mind, on my life of my master. So just connect and understand, contemplate and reflect. What is the relationship between in of the wisdom circle and the liberate principle? Wisdom circle is 11 steps. You move it again and again. Circle means what? I did not say straight line. You go back again and again. All the 11 steps moving into your mind. The moment you have an anxiety and duality and a conflict, you have completed the 11th step. You still have a problem. You move to the first step, second, third, fourth, fifth, and again. How? By the liberate principle. You examine each principle by this model, liberate model. What happens? You sharpen the power of your discernment and dispassion. The life changes. I can bet you the life changes. And another point that I have told you, you can start speaking about, you start expressing these principles first with those people who are too far from you, who are acquaintances. But if you start teaching and preaching, teaching in your home, you will be rejected. I told you before also. This is a journey moving from information to transformation. You study Eastern wisdom, you share your experiences. So when you share your experiences, you have to consciously think and contemplate. I encourage everyone to participate. No, I have a lot of problems with that's why I'm shy of participation. That is yours. So you can categorize them which level of seeker you are. I need not to say anything. Recognizing and redirecting your desires. I'm just summarizing in a different way. I recognize my desire, or I will go outside to the restaurant. I'll be happy. I'm excited. No, redirect. Redirection is change of motivation. You still go to the restaurant. I told you last time, desire is one thing, and motivation behind that desire has to be under motivation behind behind teaching you only one goal. Can I convey the message of my master, what I have learned for 26 years? Just let me out of the love And out of the conviction, can I pass on this message? Devotion is a natural focus of the mind. I have been talking about devotion and simply understand. Do you understand what is attachment? Are you worried and got upset with an attachment of the people outside, of the thing outside, of the object outside, of the work outside? Right? We all have an experience. Devotion is attachment to the real self. Oh, get upset, I didn't see my real self, I didn't feel that calmness inside me. At least you should get upset because I don't see, I'm not attached to the real self. I'm attached to the small things. I'm giving a simple definition. We use the word devotion to the God in religion. We are not going. Devotion simply means that you redirect your attachment. Why? How? Discernment. What is discernment speaks about? Attachment to anything outside, which is transient, which is constantly changing, including your honey, your parents, your children, your house, your home, your car is going to upset you. So when I have an upset, attachment I have directed to the world, let me redirect to the real self. That is simple devotion. So I will redefine the devotion again, but understand that is devotion. Simple, easy way. So once we clearly understand the wisdom circle, liberate model, discernment, dispassion, and six treasures. Six treasure replaces the six enemies. So you have to reach to that point of awareness where I got upset. Effect. Cause of the upset is attachment. Attachment is because I'm searching, I imagine, I projected happiness on that person or object. Now you see, you are moving. This is the process of discernment. Every time you are discerning, your mind moves into the state of dispassion. What is dispassion? I know the reality. Where is the reality? This computer screen is different and separate from me. Even I can see your expressions. I can watch you, but you all are separate from me. Similarly, that object where I'm seeking is separate from me, different from me. All experiences is different from the experiencer. That knower of all the experiences, that knower is me. I'm not my experience. So what happens in that state? You will see your mind opens the door to peace and happiness, the six treasures. That is how it has to be perceived, understood, applied, and you will see a change. We have a big buzzwords, phrases in coaching in our country in US. How transformative coaching. Everything falls into the right place. Don't go for there. It is a transformative. It is an awakening. It leads you to that peace, happiness, and creativity. Yesterday, one guy took an interview. He's going to put this video on the YouTube, and he said, we always look for authenticity. What is authenticity? Define authenticity. So, if without any sound principle, if I explain authenticity, it doesn't stand. So wisdom harvesting is all about wisdom circle. I said liberate model, discernment, dispassion, six treasures. Whether whatever the age we are Gen Z, we are baby boomers, we are millennials, we can benefit by these simple principles. You can reclaim your authentic inherent power. Now is the time for you all to share your wisdom that you have coming from within. Let us start your sharing of the wisdom. Let us take anyone.
I'll share. The idea of almost like the real self has become my new best friend, and one that I want with me all the time and turn back to all the time, and can rely on. And it's becoming more and more of just pronounced. Yeah.
Beautiful. You know, in Eastern wisdom, until we realize the real self, we say, let the real self be my friend. It's wonderful. It works. We have another process and method in the steps where we make the real self as a best friend. So it means I have to look inside myself. Beautiful. Let us start sharing. So we have to practice also. We don't have enough time.
I like what Christine said. I always refer to that too. I think that's kind of the goal, is to really feel like we can settle there and that's home and that is our safe place and that's our place where all the love and the kindness and the peace is. So that's that sung place. And lately I've been thinking about playing a fun, because I always love when you say it's a playing of fun, and it kind of is that playing of fun with our mind, so that when things do come up, we can just ask it, let's apply the tools that we've learned and see how we can change our perspective and our attitude.
Beautifully said. You know, I am extracting the cream out of it. Lack of thinking means impulsive, instinctive, habitual mind. And now I'm linking. Let us talk to real self. Let the real self be my friend. Let me ask my mind. So you move from the lack of thinking to a conscious thinking. Discernment starts. That is what is the message. Please go ahead.
I'll jump in. The companion aspect of it for me is very powerful. Just having that inner guidance. So much of our life we have spent, speaking for myself, looking for that guidance outside, but what we have come to realize, it's just within ourselves. And kind of the metaphorical notion I use is for in America, we had a cartoon growing up called the Flintstones, and Fred Flintstone had this guy Gazoo sitting on his shoulder telling him what to do. So we all have a very, some form of our Gazoo sitting on our shoulder that we can interact with to make our life better. So thank you.
Beautifully, David. I think we should all learn from one another. This is another. We are reinforcing how to ask and seek the help within. You see that once it helps, once you start the journey, you will never look outside. Jump in, please. Anyone wants to hear?
You said that everything you say is profound, but what you say was to redirect your attachment to your real self, which for me it means so much, because why do you want to be attached to the chaotic world that you have no control over when you can attach yourself to peace and calmness and happiness?
That's the wonderful logic in reasoning that every time you ask, everything outside is changing. I love my car, I'm attached to the car. Oh, I'm hurt. You will definitely be hurt because the car is changing identity. What is unchanging is the real self. Yes, we are reinforcing, we are moving ahead. Continue. Jump in, my friends. Anyone wants to jump in?
Thank you, Girish. I have noticed throughout this week that I have been seeking the pleasure on the outside and needing to, and understanding that I truly need to redirect the desire. And I also have found the beauty of harvesting and wisdom, and I am very grateful to be here. So thank you.
Beautifully said. You are perhaps Gen Z. And Gen Z is always attracted to the outer pleasure. So at this time, learn this Eastern wisdom. It is going to help you every day in your life. Yes, you rightly said yes. And the best thing is that I recognize that I'm searching the pleasure outside. So, very recognition, you are in a state of discernment, also a dispassion. Now, the next step is redirecting inside. Ah, wonderful. I could see the synergy. Yes, please. Go ahead.
I'll jump in, Garish. This week I've had some deep contemplation, reflection that has brought me to it's similar to what everybody's talking about. That you can't find all the problems sit outside, and I always talk about in here, whatever it is. And this week was really about I was caught on consciousness and existence, and I realized I don't say it enough or don't feel it enough. And I'm really focused on the Sat Chit Ananda. And you can't have that outside. That only happens in here. And it's been, as Barbara just said, everything you say is profound. It's so simple. And it's really been, by me focused on Sat Chit Ananda, has brought everything inside, and everything outside I'm just an observer of, and it's actually kind of entertaining. And I have to look at it that way. Going to juries, it's a play and a fun, because it just has no effect on me.
Beautifully said. Yes, Stephen, it is profound, as the Barbara said. So when it is profound, then we have to break up it into parts and make it simple. That is what I did. Wisdom circle, liberate model, discernment, dispassion in the sixth treasure. That is what the wisdom harvesting is. Beautifully said. Yes. Yes. Once I develop the love for the real self is the same Satchidananda. The journey begins. It never ends. Jump in, please. Anyone wants to jump in?
Sir, I think it is not like that. We are not experiencing pleasure. We are experiencing pleasure more than we used to experience it before, because now our mind is in peace and we are living in that moment. So whatever we are eating or what we are enjoying more than we used to enjoy it before. But now it is not important for us. Now it is not troubling us. Now it is not, if we are not getting, so we are in any kind of agony or distress. If we get, then also it's okay. If we don't get, then also it's okay. So it is becoming like that it is becoming very casual. Means, okay, we are getting, but we are enjoying pleasure more than we used to enjoy before. When we were in anxiety and lot of, means mind was in anxiety, I think so.
Yes. Yes, you rightly pointed out a very profound truth. Spiritual awakening is not rejecting by your false eye what is to be done, what is not to be done. First thing, the spiritual awakening is that you see the world as it is, with that profound and deeper awareness. You see everything in the world outside continues changing. There is no unchanging awareness outside, it is inside me. It is the real self. So it is the real self. You are already in peace. Now, in peace, you are eating something you like. Definitely, you have a deeper experience of that.
Sir, before I used to, when I was in thinking a lot and eating, I didn't know how much I ate, how much I
Yeah.
didn't eat. So now I am relaxed. So I know how much I have to eat. I'm enjoying that eating. It
Yes.
is like that.
Yes,
It is
you are
not
right.
that I keep on binge eating and eating and unnecessarily without thinking I'm doing all these kind of things. So
That
that
is
is
what
it.
we say. That is what we say in US, the binge eating, overeating and binge eating. Beautiful. That is another level. You see that you can introduce in every aspect of your life. Yes, Dennis, you wanted to speak. Yeah.
I think that when I claim that I have understood the principles and at the same time I claim that I have a problem, then obviously the mind doesn't see the contradiction. And the mind identifies with the problem instead of looking at the problem as separate and different. So the knower is mixed with the known. And this is the perfect use case for discernment to apply, to separate the problem from I am.
Beautifully said. You see what he is saying? Just I'll just convert that into a metaphor. There is a real I. There is a false I. Now, false I experiencing the pain or the pleasure from the world outside. It is totally engrossed. It is forgotten the real self. From where I have to remember the real self? From the same false I. Same false I has to redirect the pleasure seeking which I did not get. That is why I experienced the pain. I have to redirect inside me. And then there is a result. If you don't redirect, you don't understand. But the problem is, can you recognize that I don't understand? Can you become aware that I don't understand? If you recognize you don't understand, you will continue the path. You are a medium level of a seeker. But if you don't recognize, you are the lowest seeker. I have so many problems, and you are talking of applying the discernment and dispassion. Then you can land up fighting with me. Very profound. I'm using the same word. Yes, very profound. So now you have started appreciating. It is definitely going to evolve you. So anyone who wants to jump in? You don't want to jump in, Brandy?
No, but I will. I think for me, the thing that I've been thinking about is less about running outside for things, but the way that I can lean on consciousness and the real self to handle the mind stuff. That's not external. You know, it's the delusion and the things that come up, and I'm like, wow, what is this? So it's like I'm heavy in the work of teasing things out and separating, like you said, you know, real big eye and little eye, like it, and it's sometimes it's easier than others and sometimes not.
Yes. Sometimes it is not means lack of thinking, lack of discernment, lack of dispassion. So once I remember it is happening because of lack of thinking, lack of discernment and dispassion, what should I do? I restart. circle, wisdom circle. I have to restart it. Spiritual awakening is not so easy, but it is the easiest thing to do. At the same time, it is the easiest thing to do. But we have to understand the entire landscape of that spiritual consciousness. And you are right. Refer everything to the real self. That referring everything to the real self is devotion. So you all are explaining to me that how I have to move to the next step. You refer everything. What a 2-year-old child does, he refers everything to the mom. You know, sometimes a stranger comes and the child cries, to be in the lap of the mother. Why? Lap of the mother is 100% secure, whether it is secure or not, that I feel it. I'm attached to it. Can I have the same attachment and feeling? Yes. But if I cannot do it, I'm confused, then create an altar outside, any altar. Any altar. It may be a Jesus, it may be Krishna, it may be any altar. Moses, it may be a teacher. For me, my teacher is my altar. Or it may be your highest goal. What is highest goal? Real self. We started with the real self and then we can go down. A symbolic gesture. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed. Place, position, posture. Now, discernment. Place of the body. I did not explain that, but now just maintain your awareness. So I consider you are the highest seeker, and that is how you are practicing meditation. So place, position, and the posture of the body. Now I'm saying something, you instantly become aware. Place, position, and posture of the real self. Place of the real self in the infinite space. There is no place where the real self is not. Question of movement does not arise. Do you see that? That is what the contemplation reflection is. Oh, the position. What do you say? There is only one position of the real self. I'm not talking of the body. You started with the body and you jumped into it. And the posture. What is that posture? That posture of the real self is an awakened state. What is that awakened state? Permanent peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. That is the posture of the real self, yes. And then being comfortable. Being comfortable at the physical and mental level, and the comfort and essence of the real self. So the comfort in the body and the mind depends on you can complete it. You're doing the practice and still you are knowledge in practice, being carefree. Let me give you another reasoning. Can anything which is infinite, eternal, all-pervading mix up with anything that is changing, taking birth and dying? No. What are these two? Body, mind, breath, intellect, thoughts, feeling, emotions that comes to the mind, they are keeps on changing. And they depend on the unchanging identity that is the real self. If you discern that, you are being carefree. You are carefree. Think, my friends. I'm not saying just move, redirection or awareness, whatever you want to say. Oh, redirecting. Any thought comes. Oh, my thought is attached to the past. So let me attach to the real self. I love real self more than I love past. Can I see that? It will work. I know it will work. In the beginning, couple of repetitions, it may not work, but gradually, if you are persistent, it will work. Outside, no, I love you, honey, the most, but inside, yes. So you say, oh, that honey is my real self. No issue. No issue. Now look at the entire body from the top of the head to the toes. And experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Sensation, comfort, and stillness. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. I started the Mangalacharan. Find out another interpretation by your own mind so that you can break up the lack of thinking. What the lack of thinking complains? I have a lot of thoughts, and that's why I'm not able to practice meditation. That's why we are a lower seeker. May there be happiness for all. Everyone should be happy. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. So now, can you really see peace? How? By awareness. What is awareness? Is understanding. What is awareness? Is experience. What is experience? It is wisdom. You can, at the subtler level, you can experience the peace, not by the sense organs you can see it. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Puranam Bhavatu. Sarvesham, may there be completeness in the wholeness. So remember, oh, my mind is fragmented, scattered, divided, and leads to craziness, anxiety, duality, conflict. But how? It starts running outside, seeking happiness in object, people, things. Oh, can I redirect? Yes. Oh, what is that? Completeness. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. Auspiciousness. There is an eternal auspiciousness in the real self. So when I want to discover that auspiciousness, fact is I'm searching the real self. For how many minds it makes a sense. So if it makes a sense, then apply the common sense every day in your life and every moment. So every moment is auspicious, independent of everything. And now only the passive steps we are following. So you just look at the 16 segments of the fingers and start dropping Shanti on each finger and see that your mind leaves the body of name in the form. You are absorbed with lot of sensations. So how I said, we have four fingers and there are four segments of each fingers of the right hand. So you're dropping Shanti mentally on the one segment, then move to the second with a little pause. Don't do it habitually, instinctively. Pause means you are aware. Or I can say you drop Shanti, you are aware, then again you are aware, then only you can see the second segment. But you are not touching that with your thumb. You're doing it mentally. Do you still remember I told you all that all the senses are now settled within the mind, in the mind. And then you are mentally touching the 16 segments. You see them. So what happens? The prana becomes free. The energy becomes free. That is what is known as the prana. And that prana gives you unusual, beautiful, absorbing sensations on your 16 segments. So when you harness that energy, you can move and gain some expertise in Reiki or in pranic healing. We are not going there. Our goal is awakening spiritual consciousness. Beautiful. Perhaps the very first step absorbed your mind. I explained you place, position, and posture of the real self, and place, position, and posture of the body. You cannot keep the body steady all the time. Body is moving inside, but the real self has no place to move. Why? It is everywhere. When you have that awareness, you need not to work hard on the physical. And now leave this, move the mind inside the heart, means there's a rise in awareness, nothing more. And in that, you visualize the triangle of any color, move the mind on each side of the triangle, dropping Om Shanti. So here you are consciously checking the state of a dispassion. I'm just translating what we discussed today into a practice. Oh, the mind swiftly, gently moves on the east side of a triangle, dropping Om Shanti. Oh, that is the right time to take the mind deep inside the cave of your heart. Singing Om means pushing your mind deep inside. Mind seemingly stops because it comes very near to the real self. Seemingly stops. There you drop Shanti and then do nothing. You are just in a state. You are within the real self, if I say. Your false I is within the real self. The entire galaxy, cosmos, the entire world of our pain, pleasure, duality are within that Satchidanand, that real self, that pure consciousness, that absolute reality. Mm. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both of arms, place it on your eyes open, eyes inside. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We will share our experiences. How are you, Dennis?
The meditation was very, very deep and seamless, and at the end it was very joyful, I could say. And even your voice was like very, very far. It was like I heard it, but the mind was reluctant to even focus on it because it was focused something elsewhere.
Yeah.
Inside. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a deeper state. How are you, Stephen?
Thank you, sir. My practice was a tale of two extremes. It started out in a massive contemplation of today's everybody sharing that invoked thought that basically I was the six treasures were running over and over in my mind, and I just kept going through the list of the six treasures and then taking on what everybody was saying, and I said, you know what, I think I've been focused a lot on what I'm not, and it's now time to focus on what I am. And it it made me settle in that basically stopped when we got and started the japa. And then from the japa on, my experience was exactly like Dennis's.
Beautiful.
So the tale of two extremes. So thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah, it is going to happen when you say, no, you are too far. So you are too far means that there is something which does not have a name in the form, but still it is present. So that is how the mind is evolving. And that will, what we say, it will take us to that, what we say, the spiritual consciousness, because anything that is of the name in the form cannot be spiritual. Do you understand? Yes, Jerry and David, yeah.
Thank you, sir. David had to leave, so.
Oh, yeah.
The meditation was deep and similar to Stephen. I would say that the mind was focused in a bit and contemplating at the beginning of the meditation on kind of the mind went to that place where it's really liberating to know that I can work on and change the mode and the mood of and the attitude of the mind. And that's such a powerful, wonderful freedom to know that I can do that. And then the rest of the things that I can't change, like the body and the world, I have to be adaptable and almost fluid so that I don't identify with it. It comes and it goes. So my meditation was super deep, and thank you.
Beautiful. You reminded everyone that mood and the mood of the mind. Once you remember, and there has to be what we say, what is the English word, homogeneous mode and the homogeneous mood. I think you all understand that word homogeneous. There is a consistent, constant awareness on the mood, and the mood of the mind is supporting peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. So you have already evolved to the next level. You can check yourself. And it is powerful. It is powerful. Beautifully shared. How are you, Brandy?
I'm good, thank you. I've thought about something that you said at the beginning of the meditation about consciousness being everywhere. And I think sometimes I let the mind try to limit like my perception of consciousness, like my piece of consciousness. And then I have to remind myself it's not like mine and it's not a piece, right? It's not like a sliver that you, and I recognize that that's the inherent limitation of the mind, right? To think in that way. And then once I remembered that I have had that recognition a couple of times, I was deep into the absorption of the consciousness. But yeah, it's just interesting to think about that.
Yes, yes. Lack of thinking springs the thought in the mind that it is my consciousness, it is my peace. And the moment you start thinking consciously, it blasts. No, peace is impersonal, happiness is impersonal, consciousness has nothing to do with any name in the form. And once even the mind starts consciously thinking, out of that thinking, you extract that knowledge and understanding and awareness, and we move ahead. Eastern wisdom lays tremendous stress. No, you have to think. If you want peace to yourself, only you can do it. Teachers are just like real estate agents. They show you, here is peace. You have to buy it. You have to choose it. We are. That is why we are always free. Oh, you don't get peace. Oh, it's okay. You don't want it. Somewhere deep inside, you don't want it. So, yes, Barbara, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. My meditation is very, very deep, and I was so absorbed, almost to the point that when you started chanting, I took a deep breath because I thought that my breathing might have been suppressed.
Yes, yeah. It happens. It happens many a times. Because the mind is habituated with being alive because of the breath. So it says, let me check. Oh, I'm here. So I exist because of the body. I exist because of the breath. I exist because of the mind. That is my wrong notion. I am existence on which the body, mind, life, and the breath exist. Once you reach there, that is known as awakening. How are you, Christina? There are two Christinas here. Let us start with Kate. Yeah.
Thank you. As I said, which one? I experienced that bodilessness and the reset coming out of meditation and complete detachment from all that is false.
Beautiful. Yeah, we are evolving. Another Christina. Yes.
I was once we dropped to the heart, I just was, my entire space was filled with love, and it was a very, very beautiful experience, and not holding on to it as that is an outside, that was truly what was on the inside.
Beautiful.
So thank you for
Always,
holding the space.
always drop and dissolve into your own heart instead of dissolving and dropping into anyone's heart. Oh, no, because of your age, you are Gen Z, so that's why yes, Jerry. So others say that I have experience, other will say that, others, I have a better experience, I have a good experience, everything is okay. We take it for granted, but still we have to discover. They also have to discover. Yes, Terry.
At first, I was wishing that it would be much longer. I wanted the meditation
Good.
to, but then I got interrupted, so I wasn't really in it anymore. and I was thinking about my attachment
Yeah.
to the name and the form. And
Yes.
I'm just contemplating that. And I think the most important thing that was said today was to remember that the real self is not what's changing. It's infinite, and it's synonymous with the space that is everywhere. And that's how I remember it.
The moment, even if you think that real self is infinite, it in fact means it is all pervading. It means it is present everywhere. There is no place where the real self is not, and that is what the consciousness is. So if there is no place where it is not, can I move? No. What moves is the body. I am not the body. What moves is the breath. I'm not the breath. What moves is the mind, but I'm not the mind. Then who am I? I am that absolute existence, consciousness, and bliss. That is what Stephen used the word correctly, Satchidananda. चलो जी सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय बोलो जी संगीता जी
सर आज बहुत ज्यादा ग्रेटिट्यूड फील हो रहा था तो मतलब कई बार मन भर जाता है इतना ग्रेटिट्यूड लगता है उससे पीस ऑफ माइंड आता है और एक संतुष्टि रहती है कि कंटेंटमेंट है
Yes, she is raising that she had been feeling gratitude at every moment during the entire session. Think of it. I gave you peace. This is one. This is one statement coming from the mind. It has many layers. False I gave you. How can you give the peace to anyone? Peace is already within. Peace existence is made up of the peace. Now you have a second level of the thought. Oh, peace. Peace is essential nature of everyone. I cannot personalize. I cannot make it my own. It is always available. So even if you think in this way, that is a sense of gratitude. I gave you the birth. Parents, sometimes they want to dictate over their kids. Crazy parents. How they can minus 5 elements? Where is the material? Pot and pot maker. Pot maker says, this is my creation. No. If clay is not there, you cannot make a pot. Clay is not created. So when you think in this way, then you feel, oh, everything comes from the existence. That sense of humility leads to a state of gratitude. Not by simply, I'm very grateful to you. But internally, you are in fighting. That will not work. It has to be understood clearly. Beautifully. Thank you very much. We all are evolving. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, sir.
Namaste.